Hi guys, Victoria Paxton here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we drove a little ways to get to a cemetery, and it was supposed to be 70 degrees today, no rain, and gorgeous. And currently there are rain clouds over my head. It's been sprinkling, and the wind, the second we got out of the truck to start recording, the wind just picked up. I'm like, really? Every time I need to record a video, something like this happens. Anyway, so we're still on the Nikon camera because our Sony camera is still in the shop from where I dropped it. So yeah, anyway, so today I'm going to talk a little bit about the Smiley Face Killer. I was able to connect with one of the young men, William Hurley, that supposedly was a part of the Smiley Face Killer's victims. So I'm just going to read what I have, and then about the background, and then tell you how I connected with them, and then go from there. And again, this is my opinion. You know, I do want to say too, like, for example, the Kanika Jenkins. You know, look, I don't know that family's ever going to have any resolve or peace. You know, and I just connected with her. I was able to see what happened, and it was just a horribly tragic accident. And, you know, I got some kind of crappy comments, you know, but look, I'm not on anybody's side here. I said, you know, the hotel should be held liable and responsible because she should have never been able to get that, you know, to gain access to that area at all, you know. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that in. So, okay, so the Smiley Face Killer theory, it originated after two New York police detectives. I think they were retired detectives, Kevin Gannon and Anthony Duarte. They concluded that at least 45 young men that were found drowned were part of the Smiley Face Killer. The majority of the victims were white college-age men that were athletic looking and academically successful. The deaths are believed to be linked because there's a smiley face that's been painted in close proximity to where their bodies were located in the water. So I'll get into that more later. In 2009, 24-year-old William Hurley, he was found in the Charles River in Boston. 6 days after, he was found 6 days after he was last seen, so he was missing for 6 days. His mother, Lynn Martin, I don't know why I wrote that. Sorry, guys. He went to the Boston Bruins game with some friends. He went to meet them. He had worked all day, so he was tired. You know, he apparently at the beginning wanted to back out because he was so tired, but, you know, he chose to go anyway because I guess, he had spent money on the ticket and everything. So he commuted there, got there. He finally told his friends that were there, look, I'm just too tired. I just need to go home. So he called his girlfriend, and she said, you know, no problem, I'll come pick you up. So when he was talking to his girlfriend on the phone, he told her, he sung out to somebody that was nearby and said, what's the address here? Because he was like out of the arena and around the corner. So the girlfriend heard this guy, you know, say the address, and so she was right around the corner. So like a minute later, she pulls up to pick him up at that address, and he's nowhere to be found. He literally just disappeared within like a minute. So, okay, so the police recovered his cell phone. It was smashed, and it was recovered in really close proximity to where he told his girlfriend he was, okay? About a week later, Wednesday, October 14th, his body was discovered 25 feet from the shore in the Charles River. And he was literally like minutes from where he said he was when he talked to his girlfriend. He had blunt force trauma to his head, his eye socket, and behind his left leg, according to the autopsy. He had alcohol and GHB, which is a date rape drug, in his system. Okay, so So I was able to connect with him. He liked to be called Will, I guess. Came through, he was happy, jovial, nice looking guy. We made small talk back and forth. I told him, kind of why I wanted to talk to him, and, made sure he was comfortable, and then we, proceeded forward. I asked him if he could walk me through, like, the last couple of hours of his life. So he said he wasn't feeling that great. He was wiped out. But, he decided because his friends were counting on him, he was going to go to the Bruins game anyway. He told his friends he was going to leave. He said he wasn't sure how far into the game it was when he actually left, but he said he was exhausted and he just wasn't feeling it, is how he phrased it. By the time he got close to the exit, he had spoken to his girlfriend. Her name's Claire. He said he wasn't sure if he called her or if she called him. He said he couldn't remember. She said she was nearby, and, I didn't ask him. I'm guessing that was planned, that she was maybe she was coming to meet him anyway, and then he ended up leaving the game early or something, because it doesn't make sense that she would be nearby, So she asked him for the address. There was a guy standing 15 feet away from him. He asked the guy for the address so he could tell his girlfriend. He said at this point he was feeling really out of it. The man that he had asked for the address approached him, and he recognized him. He said a little while later he woke up and he was in the back of someone's car. But he said he was really... I didn't write this down exactly, but he said he was, fighting to stay awake. He was exhausted, and he could barely keep his eyes open. So I'm guessing, the supposed date rape drug that was in his system and the alcohol. Then he said he woke up a little while later and he was in some room and he didn't know where the heck he was. The man that was sitting... a man was sitting across from him. It was the man that he had asked on the street for directions. He said he thought he was in like some sort of outdoor building, so maybe like a shed or something, where people store lawnmowers and stuff like that. I don't know. The man offered him a drink. He said no, and he was demanding to know where he was and why he was there. The man was angry and forced a cup of liquid to his lips and demanded that he drink it. So he did. He said after that, he's assuming he passed out, because he said he passed out, and then the next thing he knows, he's able to like see his girlfriend and his friends, but he's like up above, and he didn't realize that he was gone, that he had passed. Okay, so, a lot of times I can connect with the victims, and I can like oversee what they're going through, or I can feel and see what they're going through. And I was able to feel when he was talking about being across from the man that he recognized from the street. He was scared to death. Like, he came to, and there's this guy, he was scared to death. He knew this wasn't a good situation, Okay. So here's what I was getting, okay? I was getting that the man that was responsible for William Hurley's murder, he's also connected to another young man. I feel like he's murdered another young man, and I can see the young man. I don't know his name. I haven't been able to get his name, but I can see him crystal clear. And I feel like the man who murdered William Hurley definitely murdered this other guy. I do feel that. I was getting the name Zach. I don't know if that's the murderer's name or this other guy's name, but I kept getting Zach. yeah, I'm thinking, okay, I'm not 100% on this, but I'm thinking that Zach may be the other guy that I'm seeing, the picture of the guy that's missing, that was murdered. For some reason, they're connected. You know, they're connected. They have a mutual killer in common. I can tell that much. But I think this man is killed again. And again, I don't know how I get the information that I get. I don't have control over, I don't have control over the information that I get. I just get what I get. So yeah, let me go through everything that I've gotten. So beyond that, I feel like he's killed again. I think he's killed at least 4 young men. So I think this guy is responsible for at least 4 deaths. So not just the other guy that I'm seeing in my mind, that I get the name Zach. So I don't know if the killer's name's Zach, like I said, or one of the other young gentlemen he's killed's name is Zach. I can, like, the murderer's in his early 40s. So by now I think he's probably in his 50s. I feel like he was in his 40s when this happened, and I'm not sure how I know that. I don't feel like so when I said that I feel like that he's responsible for killing at least 4 young men, I don't think any of them are recent. I think these go back to, like, for some reason I was getting 07 through 2011. So I don't feel like it's that he's done anything recently. I still feel like he's alive, though. I don't feel like he's passed. Yeah, so I was also getting, I don't think he did it to rob or rape them. I think it was just purely control. He wanted to prove that he had control over them, 100% control. And, he killed them as a result. And unfortunately, this asshole, excuse my French, is going to continue to walk. I don't see him being caught anytime in the very near future. Yeah. Okay, so at this point I started seeing, so I was getting all this information on this murder, right? So at this point I started seeing different bodies of water, and I could see, like, different young men. I couldn't figure out, like, okay, are these the young men that he's responsible for killing, this one guy that killed William Hurley, or is this a Smiley Face Killings? I don't know. So that's all I know. Okay. So then I got the Smiley Face Killers. Okay. So look, we know that these 2 New York detectives have put a lot of time and energy and thought and professional work into these cases, into the Smiley Face Killer cases, right? I don't mean to disrespect them or their hard work or anything. All I know is what I get. The majority of the time, I don't even know why I get the information that I get. I just get it, and that's just how it is. So I don't mean any disrespect at all. I don't think there's a Smiley Face Killer. I think that some of these young men are their deaths are most definitely connected. I think for whatever reason, these smiley faces, because when I was researching this, after I was getting everything, I was researching it. I mean, they would find a body, and then, a mile and a half away, there's a spray painted smiley face. I mean, I just think that's a coincidence. I honestly don't think they're all connected. Like the 45 young men, I don't think they're all connected. Do I think some of them are connected? Most definitely. I kept getting the Zach name, and I feel like this murder that killed William Hurley killed at least 4 others. So obviously, those 4 others and William Hurley are connected, because of this one a-hole that killed them, right? So I do think that, out of 45 young men that drowned under suspicious circumstances across the U.S., of course I would think, wow, they've got to be connected, right? I mean, of course you would think that. But the bottom line is, I don't think that all 45 of them are connected. I think, little groups of 1 or 2 here and there are connected, but I don't think so. That's not what I'm getting. Yeah. So, so here was the other thing. So I was getting that, the smiley face, the 45 young men weren't connected, which, like I said, doesn't mean that small groups of them aren't connected, right? I feel like many of these deaths of these young men across the United States that have drowned, I do feel like they're connected. Like I said, I don't feel like they're all 45 connected, but I do think they're connected. I think there are certain young men that were killed, by one person. So I think there's probably like a bunch of different murderers, but some of them have killed, more than one person. I kept seeing 18-wheelers. That's the thing that was so weird. JB Hunt. I saw 2 JB Hunt 18-wheelers. And I was like, why am I seeing these JB Hunt? They said JB Hunt on them. I'm like, why am I seeing these? And son of a gun, I could see like men driving these 2 18-wheelers, and they resembled each other. So I feel like they were brothers or related somehow, or maybe father and son. But I think they're closer in age, so maybe cousins. Yeah, I definitely, these 18-wheelers, I feel like, and here's what I think. I feel like the 2 18-wheelers could be totally separate, from this murder that I'm talking about, from William Hurley's killer and these other 4 young men. These 18-wheelers could have to do with some of these other young men that are being killed, because they're being killed in different cities. And if you drive an 18-wheeler, you're in different cities all the time, So I'm thinking maybe that's how. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so let me summarize this, okay? So, William Hurley, I definitely feel like, for sure, that there are 4 other guys connected to him as far as murders. So I think that the guy that killed him is responsible for killing at least 4 other young men. That's definitely connected, okay? I'm getting the name Zach. I tend to feel like the murderer's name isn't Zach. I tend to feel like that's another young man that he's killed, like his name's Zach. And I was actually having this guy popping in and out when I was trying to talk to Will, and I kept getting the name Zach. So I feel like maybe Zach is another victim of this guy. So, and then when it comes to the compilation of 45 other young men that they think were connected through the Smiley Face Killers, I don't believe the Smiley Face Killers. Now, that's not to say that there's not a couple of different mass murderers running around that are killing young men. I definitely think that. I 100% believe that. I kept getting 2 18-wheelers, both said JB Hunt on them. And I could see the men that were driving these 2 trucks, and they resembled each other. I don't think they were father and son. I think they were closer in age, so I think they were like brothers or cousins. But they looked a lot alike, like they resembled each other. And I feel like those 2 are responsible for killing several different young men. Okay? So is it possible that, if you take away, so if there's 45, you take away Will Hurley and you take away the other 4, that leaves 40 young men that all drowned in the United States, around the same age, athletic, doing well academically. So could these 2 18-wheeler drivers be responsible for those? Most definitely. I do, these 2 18-wheeler drivers are most definitely connected to killing several of these young men. I wish I could get their names. I can't get their names. I see a brief glimpse of them, and they look so much alike. So I definitely, and whether they're brothers or cousins, these 2 men, I definitely feel like they both are aware that they're both doing this. So they're not doing it together. They're doing it separately. But I almost feel like it's almost like a competition, like, oh, who can kill the most amount of guys? You know what I mean? I feel like they're in competition with one another. And I really think they're like brothers or cousins, and they grew up together. So it's, they're really competitive. But they're psycho, they're like psychotic. And I wish the heck I could get their names. I wish I could get that, because, they're killing a lot of people and doing a lot of damage,
Be careful.
yeah, everybody, I can't say enough, like, always be aware of your surroundings. You know what I mean? Like, always have your eyes open looking around. There's so much going on in this country now. You know, put aside the mass murders, you know, just the horrible, like, school shootings and these psychotic people going crazy, and, you know, be aware of your surroundings. No matter where you are, what you're doing, always look around, always check out your area, you know. And I don't say this just for women. I'm talking about men too. Like, we all need to start being more cognizant of what's going on and being more aware of everything around us, you know. It's scary. So, okay, guys, well, that about does it for me. So, like, first subscribe, and then like the video, and then you could share it, and that would be really cool. Follow me on my other social media sites, which are down below in the description box, and have a great week. Bye.